I'll tell you, when you first get in the service, you have all kinds of high ideals and all this sort of thing, and what you're going to do and so forth. But you know, most of those young guys who were in there were 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and just all, I don't know, building up to going into service. And you grow up from a boy to a man the first time that bullet whizzes by your ear. And when you discover that people or somebody's trying to kill you, and they can tell you all about it, but until you go through that experience, you never know really what combat and war is all about. You can read about it, you can see it in the movies, people can talk about it, but until you experience it. And my hat's off to all those veterans. I don't care what war they were in, Vietnam, Korea, the ones over in Afghanistan and Iraq. My hat's off to them. God bless them.
I use the VA hospital, and have found them to be more than accommodating. I've gotten very good care. They've helped me when I've needed help in other instances. So many of these men, if you listen to them, they've gone through so much. They need your admiration, and I think they need your thanks. And I might add that many of our veterans carry an awful lot in their minds, and things that they will never forget, that most of us will never experience. If they need your help, or if you know they need your help, try and give it to them in one way or another. Maybe not monetarily, but with your understanding, and listen to them when they talk. Just try to understand. Some of them have been through things nobody can even imagine.
Well, it's a sacrifice to be in the military. And a lot of people that have never had that opportunity don't fully realize that. It's something that the camaraderie that you enjoy with your fellow veterans before, while you're in the service, and even after. I have acquaintances that I've known for 55 years because of my military service, and we may not see each other every day, but we do communicate occasionally in telephone calls on certain holidays and so forth. I think the military taught me a lot of good lessons. It taught me to be independent. It taught me how to work with other people, how to form a team and support each other. It's what we call the brotherhood of the military. And I think that I would like to see more people join the military because it is an experience, and it does teach you a lot of values that you would not obtain if you did not join the military.
I feel that if your country calls on you to protect the country, that you should be honored to go in to the service and do a service for your country. I'm not in favor of wars. I think that it's the worst thing that anyone ever asked somebody to participate in. They're cruel, they're unkind, they're demeaning, but if you, as an American, I feel that I was honored to be representing the United States of America, and I would do it again if I could.
We have been active and supported the Veterans Administration. One of the benefits, certainly for me, was a college education, and even now the support medically from the VA is a tremendous benefit. And we do, among many, many requests for money, we certainly tried to be active and supportive of some of the organizations that are supporting injured and wounded people from the service. They made a great, great contribution, and we certainly deserve and expect to be supportive. We recognize that we're in a great country, and our current president emphasizes that in his own way. So many of these veterans made it possible for us to have the benefits we're having, no question about it. And we certainly want to support them and recognize what they've done.
I got out in April of 1946. I was a seasoned veteran of 27 months military service, out at 20 years old. I felt very sorry for the Vietnam veterans when they came back because of the reception that they got, because that was a very unpopular war. But all veterans from all wars deserve our respect and support.
I believe veterans deserve some sort of recognition, but I believe it's citizens first and veterans second. I believe that there should be no special consideration except for injuries or handicaps that were directly related to military service. Otherwise, I believe we are citizens first.
I think service in the armed forces is certainly one of the best things that ever happened to me, not only for schooling, but it just it forces you to grow up. And I'm concerned a little bit because so many of our politicians now have not served in the armed forces, and I think it's a very valuable experience, and it certainly makes you very patriotic. Certainly should appreciate our veterans, and some of these veterans now that are down on their luck, people really ought to give them a helping hand, because most of them served honorably, and they can be very valuable members of our society, and if they're down on their luck, we certainly ought to do whatever we can to get them going, and I hope people will.
You know, my feeling is that it was a job to do. We did it and came home. Every once in a while, somebody will come by and say, thank you. And I appreciate that. And I think that's a nice thing to do to them, for them.
I like to support veterans organizations, and I think everybody should do that, because the American veterans are very loyal, and they did everything that the Army asked them to do, and some of them suffer a lot, and some of them gave their many of them gave their lives, you know. And some of the battles, like Okinawa, you know, boy, they did everything the government, Army asked them to do, America asked them to do, and I think everybody should support them.
Well, I do think all the veterans who came out with honorable discharges and everything should be honored and realize, especially in the airborne, when we were jumping out of planes into God knows what down there. In Germany, you know, in France, they were jumping on like the Battle of the Bulge and things. They took big risks and they did wonderful work, and we owe those people a lot. I never was overseas doing that, but a lot of my friends were, and I certainly realized that they should be honored because they did very good work.
I think that people, when they hear what Coast Guard or any military service has done, we thank you for your service. Now, I just wish some people in government would believe that we really deserve what the people are telling us. And it's a fact of life. We can't tell people in Washington what we want. We can tell them what we like. But I do think the people appreciate what we do.
I appreciate the time that I spent in the military. I think that everybody, as they graduate from high school, should be willing to devote a certain amount of time to their country in one way or another, whether it's in the military, the Peace Corps, or another organization that serves the country, to let them know what the privilege they have of being a citizen of the United States.
There are so many that don't come back in one piece. And the government tries, but the Veterans Administration, it just has its troubles with government, with funding, with lots of things. They are well worth every minute of your prayer, every dollar that you can support them with. And if you have them in your family, love them with all your heart.
And I urge everybody that is listening to this to honor all veterans, no matter who you are, to assist and aid in all veterans organizations, help the vets, and support all their activities in Indian River County and Port St. Lucie.